Oh, oh, oh. Phil,
Hello.
I can hear you, but not see you.
Oh, hang on.
That's
Let
right.
me see what have I done? What have I done?
Oh, yay! How's it going?
All right, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Always busy somehow.
Yep, it's all good though.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, yeah, I feel kind of yeah, always sort of rushing around. But then, it's better than being, I suppose bored, isn't it, I guess?
Yeah, yep,
Uh,
absolutely.
How's things in Phil world?
It's all going great. I'm absolutely frozen. This week's just been so cold being outside.
Oh,
So I'm
really?
actually under my duvet and a blanket. I'm like frozen solid.
Oh,
So
bless you. It's
yeah,
been properly like -6 it was one morning when I come out to the car, Phil.
yep, yep.
Insane,
Just
isn't it?
insane,
So
insane.
it's been quite a long time since I can't remember the last time we spoke. Um, was it? Did we do a 2023 one? I'm not even sure we have.
Uh, uh,
Time just when you get to our age, time just kind of goes, doesn't it? It just
it
exists.
does. I mean, I can't. Somebody messaged me this morning, and I just messaged them back and said, I can't believe it's Friday already.
Yeah,
The weeks are just flying by.
the years are falling by like the rain. Can you name the band and the song?
Um, I, I'm no, I can't, but I'd have a guess at oh God, who is it you went to see recently?
Oh, Gaslight Anthem.
Yeah.
No, it was Oasis, mate.
Oh,
It's
was it?
wow, hello, it's good. No, it's not even that one. Is it? Yeah, it is. It's the first one on What's the Story, Morning Glory. Hello, hello. The years are falling by like the rain. It's never gonna be the same. Till the love I knew comes to my eyes and says, whatever. Yeah, I know.
Right. Oh, well, I
There you
like
go.
that song. I don't know if they can perform it anymore because it's the old Gary Glitter thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you like that song. You don't like my rendition of it, which is fair. But I mean, I
Well,
think
I, I never knew the lyrics. I just wait for the chorus bit because I knew the Gary Glitter bit, and I'm going, "Hello,
yeah,
it's good to be back."
yeah, good. Yeah, that's an interesting debate, actually, isn't it? Can you it's hard, isn't it? Because there's some like Lost Prophets songs I really like, and I've debated this once in a classroom, A level setting. So, but the guy from Lost Prophets, Ian Watkins. If you're not aware, like
Yep,
are you aware? Yeah,
yep,
yeah. If
yep,
people can Google it, like if they want to know. But yeah, like, can you still like the Lost Prophets? Because it's hard, isn't it? It's like you're like
yeah,
Last Train Home, such a banger, then you're like, oh no, like
yep.
bad, isn't it?
My 8-year-old niece came home. She'd obviously had this debate in school. She sat down with me. She went, "Uncle Phil, um, Banksy, art or vandalism?"
Oh,
I was like,
nice.
"Wow, what a conversation for over dinner." I was like, "Yeah, let's get into this."
What was
So,
your? Can you surmise your thoughts?
well, it's hard to say art when it is vandalism,
Yeah,
but actually, I think there is. I don't know if it's still there, but in Victoria Park, they used to have a wall that they would paint every so often that graffiti artists could actually go up and put their graffiti on it, and some of it was just amazing, just incredible, like art that would blow you away. It was
yeah,
absolutely incredible. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be overly impressed if I owned a building and somebody had graffitied all over it,
yeah,
including a Banksy. The only time that becomes like irrelevant is when people go, "That now means that your building's worth like a
yeah.
million pounds," and you go, "Ah, all right, then that's pretty cool."
You'd be like,
which
yeah,
which is just money, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's what it boils down to, which is a sad state of affairs.
yeah. I mean, you're
Um,
not wrong. Yeah, It is. It's just you're just yeah. Then the art. It's yeah. I mean, and also, do we just like Banksy's because they're Banksy's? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
and it's like Banksy's edgy and cool. Therefore, I like this Banksy. You know what I mean? And it's like, actually, we kind of don't say anymore, do we? Like, maybe Banksy occasionally does one that's not, that's not to your liking, and like, but people wouldn't necessarily admit that, would they? Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
exactly. But if you ever anyone listening to this, this is not great advice. Please do not take it. But if you did ever have yourself a spray can and you're tagging a wall somewhere and someone comes up to you and like grabs you by the collar and you go, "Oh, this doesn't sound like a normal person to me," when they go, "Hello, hello, hello, what's going on here then?" And you turn around. I would go, "Hi, I'm Banksy. Nice to meet you." Because I don't think anyone really knows what he looks like. So if he wants to be this 46-year-old fat, greying, glasses wearing because he can't see anything, but why not?
why not, mate?
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
The art, yeah, exactly. The art is still the art, regardless of the man, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's an interesting thing. It brings me on to I've got a few things to talk about. I sent you a video. It was interesting because we had a little chat on the old WhatsApp, didn't we? Oh, and by the
yeah.
way, I went offline for 2 days. You may not even have noticed, but my phone died, and I've now got a new phone again. So I'm back online, baby. But yeah, we were talking about Chat GPT.
Yep.
What did you think of what I showed? Did you get it? Did you see what was going on?
I haven't stopped thinking about it because you were the first person to show me. That same night I had a PT session. I went in there and my PT went, "Have you seen this?" And he went, "Oh, it's Chat GTP or whatever it's called."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Actually, yeah, I have." I saw your demo, the video you sent. I saw what Dan had sent me, and I was like, "Oh, this is a bit kind of this is really starting to change things." I think it's kind of a bit mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like Dan said to me, "Watch this," and he did like the voice recording. He was like, "Set me a meal planner for a week to try and lose weight for somebody who weighs this amount and wants to be eating about 1,700 calories a day." And once he pressed enter or whatever it was, it came up with Monday breakfast, blah 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 blah. And like Dan's like, you could probably, because of what he does, you could probably pick it apart and go, "Oh, you want better macros than this, or the split here is not." He said, "But it's done exactly what it's asked you to do. That will be 1,700 calories to put you in a deficit to lose weight at the end of the week."
Yeah.
And I was like, because when you showed me, it was like, write a like a book sort of thing, but or a poem or a rhyming. It was a rhyming couplets type thing that we put. It was just like, it was absolutely mind blowing. It's like I have to sit there and kind of meditate, hallucinate, and
yeah.
regenerate before I can even find something that rhymes with blue. And there's a billion words that rhyme with blue, and it's kind of like, oh, this is insane.
It raises interesting debates, doesn't it? Because I was talking to the guy in CX about it. He's really he's quite deep, mate. It's quite interesting. And I was saying, like, with I don't know why it came up, but why did it come up? I can't remember now. But we were saying that how Chat GPT has changed like the way we create, and in a way, it kind of like it means that if you are a creative, you don't necessarily need to create anymore. Like for instance, for someone like Dan, your PT, that's excellent for like content, for like throwing stuff out on Instagram and stuff, and like having constant content if you're a blogger and so on. That's like generic but useful information. But then also it can write kids books and stuff. And there's this guy on Instagram, I was looking at one of the reels, and he sort of did this thing where he showed the Chat GPT, and then he went to text to AI generator, and he created all the pictures for the book that the AI thing's just created. And he basically made a kid's book in about 10 minutes, Phil. And you think like that's it. It's good, but it's not good. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
my concern is like what happens to, because people like you and me and all creatives, I guess, like it's within you that you need to kind of do that bit of creativity. So what essentially ChatGPT does is, I hate to say it, make kind of creativity a little bit redundant.
Yep. Yep.
Tough, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that was the exact words. After 5 minutes, we did it in between a big set that I was doing of deadlifts. And so I was on a rest, and Dan, and his words to me were, "Just put me out of a job." If someone can ask to lose weight, set a plan, he said, "This is what I do for people. This is,
Yeah.
or if you want a plan to get healthy, it does it for you, or to exercise, or to increase cardio, or to become a weightlifter or bodybuilder or Olympian of some sort, or it just does it."
Yeah.
So today, when I was driving from my first school to my second school, I stopped off in Tesco, and I had to get a couple of bits for shopping for tonight's dinner for me and Quinn. And as I was walking around, I was like, what can you ask this thing to do? And my first thought was, could you ask it for a plan to help promote, for example, a book?
A marketing plan, I reckon, yeah.
So I thought, well, that's probably doable. And then I thought, well, why stop at kind of book domination? Why not go and kind of start writing songs with it, and then promote the songs and do all the stuff and ask it to kind of get there? And then I thought, why stop at books and songs when we could just have world domination?
Well, that's the next thing. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
It was unbelievable how quickly my brain went from rhyming to something with blue to let's just take over the world.
yeah.
It was like really scary.
But it is like that, man. And I think it's it's an interesting step in human like evolution. I want to say it's not human, you know what I mean? But I think that my hope is that, like, for me, I just find like it's a little bit taking the soul out of everything. And I sort of said to the guy I don't think that it can do music, because the thing with music is that to me it connects to your soul. And like, you're I think there are people like music on different levels in the world, in my opinion. And so like I've met a few people, literally a handful, who don't really like music. Like, they really are very few and far between. And then I think you've got different sort of gradients, haven't you, of people, like my mum likes it, but we'll have it on in the background, or like, she's not bothered massively, but if she's cleaning the kitchen or whatever, she'll pump out some jazz, like on a playlist. Whereas like I'm of the, I need to listen to this song at this moment in time, because that's what, and I'm, I dare say you're probably similar, and like, in that area. So like, music affects people in different ways. However, like, there is something about music that touches something deeper, doesn't it? Like, it's something in your soul. And I think I'm not convinced a robot, and they're doing tests to see whether it can do this, right? It's going to listen to loads, because what it's done is it's taken loads of stuff in, and then basically it computes and finds the middle ground of all of it, and then it creates the thing. That's how ChatGPT effectively works. At the moment, they're testing it to see, can it take over music? Can it do stuff like that? And I just think that music is so unique to the listener, and there's so many factors that affect it, like where you were, what it reminds you of, the person you were there with, the time of it, you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff, the lyrics, whether they resonate with you, whatever, that I don't know whether it can get, do you know what I mean? Because my concern is, Phil, what I'm basically saying in a really shit roundabout way, is that like ChatGPT could essentially end creativity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that music is like something where, that's one thing it can't do,
Yeah, we see. I 100% agree with that because I mean, I have Spotify and I use it all the time, and I discover artists like Dua Lipa on it for everybody else to appreciate
He's a
and
big fan of the
things like
show.
that. She is. She's lovely. She'll make it. She'll get to the top one day. She will do really well.
She's working on it. She keeps doing that microphone thing. I think, yeah, she'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if she is listening to this episode, put some clothes on, love. So, but on a serious note, I obviously we lost Jeff Beck early this week, didn't we? Was it this week? End of last week?
Yeah.
Jeff Beck to me is probably one of the top 5-6 guitarists in the world. He was just incredible, absolutely mind blowing. So I've kind of been listening to a bit of Jeff Beck, which has led me on to a bit of Paul Kossoff, and listening to a bit of Hendrix, and listening to a bit of Jimmy Page and Peter Green. So I've kind of gone through all these guitarists again. So you start listening to a song like Albatross, which is the Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green, guitar hero of mine. And I've listened to it on Spotify, and it's great because I've got great headphones. And listen, the first thing I do is I pause it and I go onto YouTube and I watch a video of him playing that song, because you could, that any AI is gonna take that, and you lose that. Watching Jimi Hendrix play is mind blowing. The way he uses a fretboard, John Frusciante from Red Hot Chili Peppers, you just watch him, and like Quinn and myself watched this video. He was talking about how he plays Snow, and it just mind blowing. We just looked at we were watching it. We both looked at each other and went, "Whoa!" It was just that sort of man. And you wouldn't get that if something artificial has written something. You can't see the pain, the pleasure, the kind of all of that goes into someone like Jimi Hendrix playing Purple Haze live at the Monterey Festival or whatever it was. I don't think he did Purple Haze then, but you just don't get it. You can't see that realism. So yeah, I fear for creativity, but I hope that it doesn't get lost. I can't hear you, lad. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
I can hear you now, boy. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, mate. I fear for all of that, and I think that it's another step, isn't it? I mean, from like auto tune and sort of, I guess, synthesizers, and yeah, because this is what my dad would have said in the 80s and 90s about synthesizer music. He would have had this sort of attitude that we've got now about AI, but I do think it's a level on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of torn about ChatGPT. When I first found out about it, and I wrote sort of all those kids' books I was planning to do on it. I mean, it's not great. It needs a lot of editing because it's just not. It's clunky. And I was initially like, "Oh my god, it's the most amazing thing," and then I just felt a little bit empty. I just thought, you know what I mean? Yeah. You haven't gone through the graft of like, doing it. And I think let's assume you created like an empire of books based, that are all made from that Chat GPT, and you made loads of money. I mean, it would feel nice that your bank account was sort of bulging or whatever. But I don't think you'd have a real sense of satisfaction, would you? I don't
No.
think you have that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's interesting. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go on.
The third time I remember this, I keep forgetting to say it. But what the guy said, so I was talking to the guy at CX, and then his mate came round because he was interested in the conversation. And he said, apparently, there's a lawsuit at the moment. If something is made with ChatGPT, you can't copyright it. So there's an interesting lawsuit. They haven't got precedent yet in the courts as to what actually is the way it should be. Because if I've gone to ChatGPT and go, right, write a book about sausage and fish, lives under the water and he's brown or whatever, and then someone else does it, apparently the copyright doesn't exist because I haven't created it. So it's an interesting world, isn't it? But then again, on that note, you've got Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen. Noel Gallagher's quite openly said that he's going to sell his back catalogue in 2025. You know, and so what is, you know, what is own? I mean, it's a whole another podcast. What is ownership and copyright these days? Is it even that? I don't know. It's a complicated world, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, on the whole copyright thing, I love kind of listening to songs that are based off of other songs and the trouble that artists go through and claiming copyright, and then suddenly you hear that is so exactly the same, but they don't care. They never take them to court or whatever. And there's like, was it the Ronettes and their song "He's So Fine," na, 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 where they sued George Harrison for "My Sweet Lord" because it's the same song, and you listen to the two, and they're actually like a league apart, in songs, possibly the same chords, possibly a similar rhythm, and maybe similar phrasing, but they're so different. And then you hear something. There is there's a Kinks song which escapes me now.
Yes, I've heard about this.
And the Green Day song, and the intro is like absolutely the same.
Yes,
it's got this whole sort of sound to it, and I don't think there was ever a suing about it. It's just kind of just weird, and you have to say that.
What was the thing you played me? Sorry, mate. Was it Nirvana? "Come As You Are"?
Yeah.
What was that? That's a complete rip-off of something else, isn't it?
Yes, a song called "The 80s." I can't remember who that's by, but yeah, you hear that song, and it's exactly "Come As You Are," and that "Come As You Are" came after this song. You know, and you can point the finger and say, "Oh, Kurt Cobain copied it," but there are only so many notes, and there are only so many chords that you can play before you start kind of rewriting the same stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be really boring here. Sorry, I'm going to put you down for a second.
That's right, Phil.
The Kinks song goes, "I am here somewhere." Hello.
We can see you, buddy. We can see you.
So that sort of, it's just the E, the A, and the D. That sort of. So, and that's it. But it's exactly so. But there are only so many. I mean, you could take that, and you'll find another song in there somewhere. You know, that, or even that. How many songs are? How many songs are just D, C, G?
Well, how many songs as well, Phil, are A minor, F, C, G? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let it be.
It's like it doesn't mean, you know. And also, like, on that subject, I might be incredibly naive, worldview wise, but I don't think Kurt Cobain or anyone who is I'm talking about proper songwriters who are proud of what they do. They're not going into the studio and going, "Hey guys, I've heard this amazing song by whoever it is, I just don't believe that they're doing that. But I do believe that it's probably, you know, it's likely that they're similar chord progressions because of the way that it's just transpired. But I don't think, especially in, you know, olden days before Spotify, that you didn't have access to every single bloody song. You know, it's like Kanye and people like that had to literally listen to millions and millions of vinyls to chop up the beats. Do you know what I mean? For Jay-Z, and stuff like that. You know, so yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't think that people, if you're a musician, you derive pleasure from, I think there's different types, aren't there? But if you're a creative musician, you derive pleasure from creating your song or creating your music. It's like Taylor Swift. Everyone takes the piss out of Taylor Swift. She writes amazing pop songs, in my opinion. And she might be a pop star and she might be attractive and that, but she has got talent. And in my eyes, she's got kudos, man, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I can't think what it's a song. The band will come to me in a second, but that song, "Killing Joke," I think it was. the 80s, I don't think they'd have had half the amount of listens that they'd have got had it not been for Come As You Are.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
So are you trying to sue? Not that they ever did. I don't think there was a suing thing that ever ensued from it. But would you be suing Kurt Cobain for kind of stealing your song, or could he then turn around and go, "Well, actually, because of my song, you've had treble the amount of listeners. That means 2/3 of your income is down to me."
Yeah.
So surely as a musician, you kind of work together. I mean, how many different versions of Robin Hood are there in the movie world? How many times do they rewrite a movie? How many times do they remake a movie? How many times do they kind of do a second edition? How many different Supermen have there been? How many different Batman have there been?
Yeah.
You do that because something else comes along. That doesn't mean Christopher Reeve is still my favorite Superman. Big up Henry Cavill. I know he's an avid fan and listener as well. But Christopher Reeve is, because that's when I grew up. Those special effects which are proper dodgy, and Quinn goes, "How can you watch this stuff?" And I was like, because this was cutting edge in my day. Christopher Reeve was banging. Michael Keaton is my Batman. He was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that Christian Bale and all these, I'm name dropping. It's terrible because they all listen, and I'm so sorry, guys.
They're all on our speed dial, aren't they? They're all. I just got off the phone actually to Bailey.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah. In between shoots, but yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have to go out for a beer one night with him.
Non-alcoholic beer.
Non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it makes his Batman any less, because I think he's brilliant, and it's just a different Batman. It goes for different generations. So actually, what Nirvana have done is they've brought forward, an older song. You like this, you might listen to this, and it's kind of what Green Day have done. And I don't know if there was any kind of suing with this, but it's almost like the Kinks have gone, yeah, go for it, use it, because if people put the connection together, we get another million listens a week, sort of thing. So that's money in our pocket. It's win-win, isn't it?
It's win-win, mate. Exactly. And like you say, everything is kind of borrowed, isn't it, in the world? And I think there's a lot of this. I'm getting this a lot of Skylar. We've sort of done a podcast in the opposite order, really. Like, we haven't actually had a little catch up, but I think we'll probably moving into that now. I mean, I've got Skylar at the moment. She's at a sleepover tonight with her mates. She's fine. And that's great. But she just turned 13, and we're very much into that age of kind of like, who's your favourite Spider-Man? And I'll go, well, I don't massively care, but probably Tobey Maguire. Oh, how can you say that? It's obviously the new guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, why ask me, man? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just my opinion. You asked my opinion, I told you my opinion. But it's like, yeah, why can't they all be all right? You know what I mean? They can all be all right, and it doesn't actually matter. And it's, a lot of this sort of stuff's kind of generational, I think. I've got to just cut across, man, the conversation very quickly, because I don't know how much I spoke to you about this, but we've got some partners, Phil. Right? Nice. So it's Dry January, and we'll catch up on our Dry January progress shortly. But the good people at Pentire. This is they sent me this bottle. It's Pentire Coastal Spritz. It's blood orange, sea rosemary, oakwood. It's like a spirit, but obviously it's non-alcoholic. So it smells delicious, Phil. I'm going to put it in this glass with ice and a bit of lemon, and I'll give it a little chill up, and I'll have a little taste of that in a bit, and I'll save you some for next time you're here. And also the good people, I've got loads of these. So good people at
Goodrays, nice.
Of natural CBD, and I think that 30 milligrams is more than normal. I'm not 100% confident that I know what CBD actually does, because my belief is that without THC, it does fuck all. But I mean, I think there's like healthy. I don't know whether you know.
Right, yeah, I do. I can clarify this a little bit, and I'm sure there'll be somebody that can put me straight. But the THC is the kind of the druggy part in inverted commas. That's the bit that kind of gets you stoned. You know, people go, "Oh, I'm so stoned."
Yeah,
yeah. However, the CBD part is that's the kind of the healthy part. It's like it's got so many benefits, like muscle repair.
Oh, nice.
It helps with fatigue. It can help with weight loss. It can help with weight gain. It's got so many benefits to it. And when I was doing my tri training in 2018, one of the things that we were kind of suggested with, because obviously when we were swimming kind of 1 to 2 kilometers on a Tuesday night. Monday nights was running somewhere between 3 and 5K. Wednesday nights was bike night. Thursday was run again. Friday was swim again. So you're constantly on this, and sometimes the muscles, the crossover muscles, you're just like, it's tight, it hurts. It's yeah. So
leave me alone.
The advice given was like 3 or 4 drops of CBD oil underneath the tongue. Let it kind of just, and it honestly, it sorted out that's the other big thing. I really, really struggle with sleep. I could still be up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'd be up at like 6 o'clock the next morning because obviously work 6, 7 o'clock or whatever. Really, really struggle with sleep. And I just couldn't get a grip on it. Started taking this CBD oil, and it properly sorted me out. Yep. Sleeping that's
little
okay.
Baby. That's good. Speaking of little babies, mate, one is just trying to break into my office. Come on, Rooster. Come on. He's stuck. Hold tight, mate.
It's good stuff.
Will you fill up this podcast for the entry of a baby and a big sister? Hello. Do you want to come and say hello to Phil?
Hello.
Look at her teethy pegs, Phil. She's this one's literally just it's on the way out. It's
my days.
Any day, won't she, man? Mwah. Can I finish this chat with Phil and then I'll be with you? Is that all right? Say bye, Phil.
Bye.
Can you take Rooster with you, darling? Is that all right? Ruby Ross? Yeah. Oh,
Zippity doo dah, zippity day.
I mean that is, you know, for anyone thinking of having children, there is the beauty and the you know, it's amazing because, you know, kids are amazing. They are so loving. But you want to get anything done, not a chance, mate. And if you any privacy in your life, gone. I don't poo on my own. I don't poo on my own. It's a thing. Yeah, those days of maybe sitting down, having 5 minutes on your own, checking your phone or reading a book. Now I've always got someone basically, little eyes staring at me. You right, Dad?
Yeah.
How's it going, Dad? Yeah. You all right? Fine. Everything's fine. It's a crazy. It's a crazy world, the little ones. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So sorry about that. Where were we? CBD, weren't we? Yeah. So let's crack this open. While I'm cracking this open, Phil, tell me about how your dry January's gone. I don't actually know. So yeah.
Well, dry January for me has been fantastic because I kind of, as you know, most of the times we met up last year, I was on the old lime and sodas anyway. So I'm not a big drinker. I did drink a little bit over Christmas. I had some black rum and some spiced rum, which is my kind of bag. But that's it. Yeah, just kind of.
So you haven't had a drink in January?
Maybe early January, because I wasn't that straight on to it. But no, it's kind of doesn't.
Don't know what. Yeah.
The food, on the other hand, shocking. But yeah, let's do your dry January. How's that going? I've been following your TikToks.
Thanks, mate. I mean, yeah, like it's going fine. It's my difficulty is when you get to the evening and I don't think I'm alone in this, but when I get to the evening and you want that kind of little something, which is why I'm exploring these new drinks options, I just sort of have to kind of change the habit of like not wanting to have that alcoholic drink, which sort of and everyone knows it. You sort of feels like it's the sort of stress of the day leaving and so on, and kind of just changing the mindset on that. So it's been absolutely fine. I mean, I find that if I'm not drinking alcohol, then my sleep is a million times better, and I need about 7.5 hours. Then I'm up and I'm ready to face the day, and it's all good. So there are a lot, and the benefits for me do hugely outweigh, the negatives. And I think the negatives are, essentially the fear of missing out, the fact that, I've been to football now, I went to Wolverhampton away and Leeds away, and it's tough when everyone's drinking, and it's a real, alcohol is such a, cultural sort of part of football. So that bit's hard, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So it's gone well. I've lost at least 7 or 8 pounds in the first 2 weeks of Jan. I need to weigh myself probably tomorrow and see if that's continued. But
Brilliant.
Yes, so yeah, cheers, man. It's been positive. I mean, I do. Like all of us, that's why I do the videos. So, I like to be honest and sort of, it's a struggle because psychologically, I still equate sobriety a little bit with boredom, and that's something that I've got to kind of work on myself. And I know that, but drinks like these, Phil, this is nice. It is subtle. You're going to have one when you come round, and we'll do a little.
Yep.
Video, and we'll put a little video out about them. But they are. They're subtle, Phil, is what I'm going to say. It's easy to drink. They are tasty. It's not blowing your mind with mad flavour, but it's kind of like those sort of what I would call sort of sparkling water drinks with like a touch of something,
Yep.
So
yep.
It's got a nice. I like it as a product. I think it's quite expensive in the shop. Everything non-alcoholic is quite expensive, in my opinion. And these, I think the packaging's super effective and good. I think the flavour's nice, and quaffable, man. So, and as Phil has enlightened me with us about the benefits of CBD, I highly recommend guys getting out and trying this Good Rays natural CBD drinks. I think I first saw it in Sainsbury's, so it must be out and about in the communities and in the shops. And like I say, the nice people sent us a case, so that's amazing. Very pleased with that. There are some people, Phil, who ghosted me or us and our emails. But should we name and shame, or should we could give them time, couldn't we?
Yeah, we give them another podcast or two. In fact, talking of podcasts, I think we're up to the Two Bears podcast. So that's about 27. This could be our 28th.
Is it?
Yeah, I went through and counted them the other night.
Shizzle a brizzle, Phil. That's
I
good.
can't remember if this is our 27th or I counted 27 and this is our 28th.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so
nice.
I thought it was quite cool. Fast approaching the big 3-0.
We should do something for that.
We should.
It'll be near my birthday probably, and your birthday's in April, isn't it, Phil?
Yep.
So we're going to have to do something for that as well. Phil, this is, we're about to cut out. So can I just, because I think we've still got a bit more to talk about, if you don't mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Call you back, baby.
See ya.
Get a drink, have a whittle, and I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, deal.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
Yo.
Hello.
Back in the room. So, yes. I mean, we've got some quality endorsements from some nice people, so that's good. I'm pleased about that, Phil. We're clearly, it's nice. It's a nice thing to do, and it's nice to be recognised here. I did reach out to Dr. Squatch.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that the doctor must be quite busy at the moment because no reply.
Yeah, I get the impression. I mean, when you order something, it takes anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks, doesn't it?
It's American. It's coming from America. Yep. No. So I got my stuff. I was very, very excited. And I've got to say, I like it. I think the deodorants are unreal. Like exactly as you said, like I've got the blue one, which I really, really like. I've got the green one as well, but I really like the blue one. And I shall be purchasing more. I mean, it's weird to go back to soap after years of shower gel and stuff. And I guess if
Yep.
you're sharing, I mean, without going into too much detail, like it might be a bit, grim, but yeah, man. I mean, I really do like it. I like the shampoo. It does feel different, and it does make you realise potentially how much harmful stuff's in the products that we are generally pushed to buy.
Yep.
Does
Yep.
seem that way, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yep.
So I'm hoping that they'll come to the store. And I mean, the only other thing I was going to say before we do um, conspiracy theory is one of the byproducts of not drinking a lot is that I think your taste improves. There's a lot of there's a lot of bonuses. Your skin improves, you drop weight, you sleep better. But one of the other things is your taste improves, and I've got to say I'm planning to do like a non-alcoholic menu, like as part of the Two Bears thing. I hope no one steals this idea, but yeah, I thought if you could do like a non-alcoholic drinks menu and basically get all the stuff, make it whether it's whatever it is, Prony Zero, whatever it is you're using, have it and just basically say to venues, right, this is the menu. You'd have the best non-alcoholic menu in your town. These are really exciting flavoured drinks. This is how much it costs, you know what I mean? And supply them. I think that'd be it'd be quite a fun thing to do, wouldn't it? Because you'd be trying flavours and stuff. But also, because oh my God, yesterday I went to Costa, right? And I said to the girl, I said, I really fancy a tea, but you don't really do teas. And she went, oh, we've got this new one. And I was like, go on. Spiced apple and cinnamon.
Oh, nice.
And it honestly, Phil, it was unreal. So good that I went to Holland and Barrett today and ordered some spiced apple and cinnamon tea. But yeah, man, I think when you're not drinking, there's more. Yeah, because if you are drinking, you just go out and go beer, Guinness, whatever. And it's like you open yourself up to flavours. I think one of the reasons that people do drink alcohol is when they're out, they know what they're getting with certain things. Whereas that you go to certain places and you don't know what their non-alcoholic variety is, and it's not as good. It's something I think I need to pick up on, isn't it? And maybe just improve a little bit to get some better options.
Have you? We need to try this drink. I think we should almost bastardize this new drink that's come out. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been all over TikTok and Instagram. Tom Hanks, New Year, he was on the Diet Cokes, and everyone was drinking champagne, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, yeah." Oh, and then he said, "I put my glass over and went, put a shot of champagne in that for me." So and everyone was going, "Oh, Tom, that's disgusting." I said, "Oh." Anyway, they put some champagne in his Diet Coke, and he said he has discovered this new drink.
Oh, really?
So I was like, right, okay. So after what you just said, I was like, Diet Coke and something like Prosecco, which is like a really close sort of champagne-ish. We could try it.
Do you know what, mate? I've got it downstairs.
Have you?
And I've got Diet Coke. We should give it a whirl next time.
A whirl, yep.
Yeah, we'll do one more before the end of January, I'm sure. So we can
we'll get together for that one.
It sounds groovy. Also, Phil, I've met up with the guy from Chew the Fat, Peter, and he's I don't know, he's lovely, but I think he's a little bit nervous about coming on, but he wants to come on, so we're going to get him on at some stage and get him to talk about Chew the Fat and what's going on there and how their plans to kind of do other bits this year, which I think is important. And so that would be nice.
Yeah. We've also been invited. Dan and some of the gym guys have started up their own poddy. So we've been invited onto theirs. And I said, yeah, equally, you guys can come onto ours. We'll do a bit of a cross poddy pollination.
Yeah. We'll definitely do some cross, four ways.
Right, because they're all gym kind of bods. It'd be quite nice for us to maybe get into the gym and they can put us through our paces. That's what we'll be in at the end.
Yeah.
Put us through our paces or whatever.
Yeah, keenest
Yeah,
mustard, mate. Keenest mustard for that. That sounds
perfect.
good. I love a challenge like that. Sounds awesome. And Tim Smith, I keep saying that, but I'm going to definitely text him
Yep,
soon because he's got mad conspiracy theories. So that'd be good. Okay.
awesome.
Into the last part, mate. I think what was interesting. We were talking about the Chat GPT thing earlier. We were talking about that is going to be the big thing of I think this year, how that develops, how that sort of moves on, and it got me thinking about Elon Musk. Something else that got me thinking about that kind of world was I made a T-shirt the other day for the clothing company. It
Yep,
says "Escape the Matrix," which is one of the things that Andrew Tate talks about, and obviously he's quite a controversial character at the moment, getting a lot of
yep.
hate for his alleged misogyny. But my daughter saw the T-shirt, my Skylar, and she said, "Oh, all my friends are really into the Matrix." And I said, "What, the actual film?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Look, they've seen the original film and they like it." I said, "Yeah, they love it. Da, 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 da. I really want to watch it." So I was like, "Right, talking my language, darling. Saturday night after we watch West Ham lose, we should come home and we should have a takeaway and we should watch The Matrix." So that is something that I thought was quite interesting, and something that Elon Musk is very much into is the concept of simulation theory. So this is essentially the belief that everything that we experience in this world is ultimately fabricating. It's like the 3D world that we have around us, of our senses and so on, is essentially like a kind of computer game. Yeah, and
Yep.
ultimately, you understand, you see the Matrix and so on, that there is another reality which we don't fully understand, but is beyond, beyond what we experience. Now, this might sound peculiar to some people, but like I say, Elon Musk has gone on record and said that he believes that it's the most likely case of what is going on is simulation theory. And things that I find interesting that we can't possibly really fully understand is if we think about the human brain, we understand about 10% of it, maybe. Yeah. Which means that's a large part of it that we don't understand, which would give rise or give suggestion to the fact that maybe, our brains could be potentially being controlled by some other element, some other, whatever it is. And, if you think about it, when we go to sleep, we're essentially recharging the battery. So, as it is, and recharging ourselves to go back, essentially into the matrix and carry on with the world. So, I don't know, Phil. That was kind of what I was interested in today. I don't know what your thoughts are, mate.
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole kind of Matrix concept is mind blowing, isn't it? Because up to that
Mm,
point, nobody had even. Well, maybe I say nobody. Your average Joe, i.e., me, had never even thought that there could be a red tablet or a blue tablet.
mm,
Um, and it is kind of that sort of wow, really?
mm.
And then you ask the question because you go, yeah, I'll be out like a shot, I'll be out like a shot, and then you think, well, would I?
Exactly.
Would I?
Yeah.
There's comfort in what I already know. That I can't. The character from the Matrix who does go back into the Matrix.
Mm.
He was one of the brothers in the Goonies, wasn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
And his character, and he's just sitting there eating steak, going,
Yes.
"I love it. This is why I've done it." And he eats like he's never eaten steak before,
Yeah.
and um,
He's like, I know it's not a steak, but it doesn't matter because
yeah,
actually it still, tastes and so on. So, yeah,
yeah. So
fascinating.
there is comfort. So is it like the grass is always greener on the other side? Do you sit there and enjoy the steak that might not be steak, and often think what's out there, or do you go out there and go, bugger, I wish I could go back. This is not what I thought it'd be. I've got to, hover spaceships and get those little android tentacle things that come and eat
Yeah.
skip up and
Yeah.
um
It's an interesting one,
yeah.
isn't it? I don't, I think, I mean, just from my own experience, the more I went down sort of TikTok rabbit holes, the more I found it disconcerting and ended up feeling quite uncomfortable because you can end up questioning everything, and if you question everything, then I don't know how much enjoyment you get from the world because yeah, the people in power might be corrupt reptilians, or that, there might be crazy aliens on the other side of Antarctica. I don't know. I probably will never know, and we might be living in a simulation. But yeah, I kind of, it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you're 17, 18, and the Matrix first comes out, and it's like, yeah, man, I definitely take the red pill. And yeah, it's the reality is that the world is kind of crap, isn't it? It's kind of the reality they're living in. And so, like, what is better? Is it better to live in a fake reality that is nice, or complete reality that is horrible? So it's such an interesting debate. And I think the other thing is that we only understand fully and we can only live in the 3 dimensions, but there's quantum fields, there's 5th dimensions. Time, we understand it is linear, but really time, the more research into physics and stuff people do, but I'm no expert, but like I say, I've seen a few TikToks, that's about the extent of my knowledge. But I mean, you do get people, they go, it's not everything is how we perceive it and understand it. And that does make sense to me. We've talked before, about the pyramids and stuff. And I think that, there certainly are other civilizations or races or whatever that have got more understanding of the way things work than we do. And I mean, I'm very much of the opinion, that there are sort of higher forces, and I don't understand what they are, but there are higher forces, and I don't necessarily think they're all malevolent and evil. I think that you can tap into your own kind of positivity and positive vibes, and I think it makes your life better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a crazy one, Phil. This Pentire is tasty. It would be nice with a bit of sparkling water and some tonic, but it's certainly got potential. So yeah, thank you very much to these guys. I definitely recommend Good Rays. Pentire is great. We're going to try it with something else maybe next time and see how it goes. Anything else you wanted to wrap up with, Phil?
There was something. Oh no, maybe I said it with the whole 28 podcasts that we've done, 27 podcasts, whatever it is. Maybe that was it.
Yeah. What are you doing this weekend, Phil?
It's a Quinn weekend, so I'm going to go and pick him up in a little bit.
Nice.
And then he's doing his Duke of Edinburgh award tomorrow morning. He's got some voluntary work that he does locally, and then we're off to do a bit of airsoft. My parents are away for the weekend. They've gone to the Isle of Wight.
Oh, nice.
So it's just Quinn and me in this house.
Excellent.
It'll be a bit of fun. I think he wants to hang out with some of his mates, which will be great for him this weekend.
They're at the age, aren't they? Where the mates, Skylar's at a disco tonight of her old school, and then she's staying over her friend's house, which is nice. So trains are running tomorrow, so she should. But there's a vicious rumor that they might reach agreement, the RMT and the train operators. So we shall wait and see on that one. But that'd be nice. So we don't have to panic about that, because I've got a new job that I'm doing up in London, Phil. But I'll tell you more about it when I see you off air. Getting into town, just have to constantly check, didn't you, what's going on with the trains and stuff.
It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
It really is. Next week's fine though, and me and Skylar are going up to El Sacchio tomorrow, West Ham v Everton. So whoever loses gets the sack. Apparently,
it's not the season to be a West Ham fan this season, is it?
Not really, mate.
Or Everton, to be fair.
No, the bubble has very much burst.
It's crazy, because last season you were like high in Europe, doing all these wonderful things. However, my eldest is a Newcastle fan, so I'm sure he's I can see them getting maybe a top 4. It's
It's mad.
crazy. It is crazy.
To him. It goes. I said this to Skyler. It goes in. You know what it's like. It goes in sort of peaks and troughs, especially for clubs like us. We're not a big club. We're not expected. To be up the top, but we're also expected to be a bit better than this. So it's it's been an interesting vibe tomorrow. My prediction is a 0-0, and then but what they want to happen. Well, it's so bizarre. Apparently, David Moyes, they want, if we win, Frank Lampard will get sacked from Everton, and the first name on Everton's wish list is David Moyes because he's managed there before. So that's what the owners want, because then they don't have to pay David Moyes compensation. So, it's all just a bit like, I've heard too much about it. I just want him to play better. All I want is just to be entertained.
Yeah.
But hey ho. Anyway, bro, I love you and leave you. Have a nice weekend. And,
you too.
We must improve our busts, and we must meet up next week.
Bring up what next week?
Meet up, darling. Meet up.
Oh, meet up. Sorry, Definitely. We can try. What I'll do is I'll bring some really nice flavoured tonics with me.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I will. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to write it on my list now. And then we'll be able to do it in person live in the round.
Perfect.
Right. Much love, my man.
Yeah, sending it right back at you, babe.
Be good, and I'll see you in the future.
See you later, mate. Bye.